presentation, proudly presented by EMCO. Thank you for being here today. Thank you to our judges, and I'll just do a quick introduction. Sean Kelly from EMCO, Paul Ganger from EMCO, Joanne Fisher from Scotiabank, Jill Hobbs from the College of Agriculture and Bioresources, Dominic Thibodeau, Federated Cooperatives Limited, and Jacqueline Cook from Vendesta. Competitors, you have 23 minutes today to do your presentation. Immediately following the presentation, we ask that you exit. I will be keeping time for you today, so from the first word spoken, that's when we will start the time. The first 5 minutes is protected time. No questions can be asked at that time. At 5 minutes, I will knock and hold up a sign, and at that time, unprotected time will start. Judges will be able to ask questions. At the 20-minute mark, I will knock again, and protected time will start. From there on, I will give you a 2-minute, 1-minute, 30-second warning for your presentation to wrap up. Audience, no questions, comments, cell phones, or picture taking are permitted at any time. Please ensure that your cell phones are on quiet or vibrate. And again, if you could only applaud at the end of the presentation. When the presentation is finished, we ask that the audience exit immediately. This gives time for our judges to be able to do their scorecards and have a conversation. I want to confirm that you're Team A. When you're ready.
Laura walks into her brand new home in Regina, Saskatchewan. It's a hot summer's day. She walks to the bathroom and turns on her tap, where she then splashes her face with cold, clean, and clear water. On the other side of the world, Femi wakes up. She starts her day in rural Kenya and gathers 2 buckets. She takes her 2-hour journey to the local water source, where she then waits in line. Following her wait in line, she'll fill up both buckets if she's lucky. As she does so, she thinks about her journey home. Good afternoon. My name is Max, and these are my colleagues, Alex and Andrea, and today we are here representing Joe Arnold, Profit Center Manager for 6 Saskatchewan locations of EMCO. We would like to introduce you today to Project Equality. The goal of Project Equality is to expand our reach into the residential contractor market. As you all know, EMCO primarily operates with industrial and commercial contracts for plumbing and HVAC distribution for new developments. By working with Project Equality and allowing us to invest in this pilot project, we hope to expand your reach into capturing those residential contracts, impacting the end consumer, those contractors, and essentially having a very large social impact globally. The idea behind this is to adjust our prices from our 6 pilot locations to allow EMCO to invest in the creation of 1 well in a developing nation per home fitted with EMCO distributed supplies. This absolutely aligns with EMCO's current values, and we're going to explain to you today why that is. EMCO's vision is to have total customer satisfaction always, and while we've been very successful in doing so, this will allow us to reach a customer that will have a visible impact on society. It will impact the homeowner, the contractor, and a brand new global customer. So let's talk about our team here today. Again, this is Alex, Andrea, and my name is Max, and we're so thrilled that we have such a diverse team of representatives from EMCO here today. We're asking for your investment in this pilot project that, when successful, we will expand nationally across Canada. This project's footwork will be done by the three of us. So while Joe is managing these stores, the three of us will be heavily invested in making this project a large success. We are young entrepreneurs with drive, spirit, passion, and the audacity to follow this through. So I'd like to pass it off today to Andrea to discuss how this is going to work.
So first off, we'd like to talk a little bit about making the connection. Now, a huge part of what this business will do is to make the connection with a not-for-profit organization that already works with putting wells in areas that need them the most. Of course, we don't want to put that burden on EMCO, so we believe that this partnership would be very, very beneficial. Obviously, it's the touchstone of this project here. We don't have a partner picked out currently. We would like to take, as Alex will explain a little further on, some time to pick that partner out to make sure that their corporate values and their values as a not-for-profit align with EMCO's values as well, whether that be Oxfam, UNICEF, or any other organization that currently operates putting wells in developing nations. Also, we would like to make the connection, of course, with residential contractors in our pilot project in Saskatchewan, where we can enter that market, break away from industrial and commercial, and enter something a bit different, where we can have, as Max mentioned earlier, each home fitted from EMCO supplies, have that contractor order from us, fit that home entirely with the plumbing, and have that home be the purchaser of one well for a developing nation. That's also where the community comes in and the global reach. People who were looking to purchase a new home, people probably slightly older than ourselves who have more of a feel for that heart bit of their house. They don't want to make their home just for them. They want to help somebody else make their home better as well. And this is something that if a contractor chooses to purchase with EMCO, they can put that stamp on their home and say, we have Project by Equality pieces in our house, and you'll be making a difference with your purchase with us today. On to the next piece. Again, we'll talk a little bit further about the end consumer. After their house is completed and they move in, the contractor has finished installing all of their products they purchased from EMCO into the home, and that home has their water running. That home can then turn on the tap for somebody else. They can get their code in the mail from EMCO, congratulating them on their new home and on their socially conscious purchase. That home can then enter their code on the EMCO website and see where their well was placed and see whose lives they got to impact with their purchase. They can also then share that purchase with their friends on social media who would be in probably the same demographic as themselves and might also be looking to purchase a home, and would then be more motivated as well to purchase a home that uses Project Equality pieces from EMCO.
Is this limited to just new home construction?
Currently, that is what we are looking at, although of course there is an opportunity to push it to renos and that sort of thing as well. The way we budgeted the pricing right now is so that one home construction, which typically we were looking at a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath home on average, has enough pieces, so to speak, to cover the cost of one new well, as Alex can get into a little bit further on as well. As we were speaking of, that creates a huge social impact. That person feels good about their purchase, and EMCO has differentiated themselves in a market that traditionally focuses very heavily on pricing. This is something that makes EMCO completely different. No other wholesale provider of plumbing supplies does anything like this. And in a global world where social responsibility is becoming more and more necessary for companies to make themselves differentiated in the marketplace, we believe that this is the way to go. For the contractor, there is no downside for a contractor looking to get their supplies from someone here. As Alex will talk on a little bit further about the way this will be priced out, this has no downside for them. They would mark up after they purchase, they would mark it up the same as they would purchasing from any other supplier. So that cost would, as Alex will talk on a little further, get moved on to the consumer with no flaws there. We would be able to utilize EMCO's network.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, of course, Alex.
Absolutely. So we cycle through to our financial information. I can start to talk about that a little bit. As Andrew was talking about earlier, what we're basing this pricing structure on is going to be centered on new home builds within Saskatchewan to start with, and in the longer term in markets outside of Saskatchewan across Canada, and perhaps on a wider scale as we go forward. Now, within what we estimated as a $7,000 installation charge for MCO in a new house build, that covers piping, that covers other bathroom and plumbing fixtures throughout the house. Once all of that is added up within a new house build, all things considered, that's going to be about $7,000 Canadian. Now, of that $7,000, roughly 7% are going to be funds that are going to be directed towards the installation of this new well somewhere else in the world. Now, knowing that MCO's pricing strategy is one that empowers local profit centers to set these prices individually, we feel that within these Saskatchewan markets run by Joe Arnold, as it is, this markup is something that can be very realistically accomplished in the sales of new residential fixtures. And beyond that, we feel that that small increase in price will also add legitimacy and positivity to the new industry that MCO is going to be a part of, and will ultimately increase the value of the brand in this new industry.
Is that the cost of a well? $500?
About $500, yeah.
That was our estimation, yes.
What does the market look like for people that would be interested in something like this? Because right now it sort of seems to be a low-cost market that's out there for plumbing.
Well, we feel that with MCO's existing infrastructure, whether that's in terms of supply chain distribution and the like, what they currently are able to tap into in the more industrial side of things is something that can be easily transferred towards the installation of residential fixtures, both on a corporate level and with regards to those individual profit centers. So if you go back a slide, absolutely. Right now, each year there's about 190,000 housing starts in Canada. So those are brand new houses that are being built, and that's the bedrock of potential for this new industry with regards to MCO. Now, within Saskatchewan, that's going to be about 8,000 housing starts. Now, Joe Arnold's current profit centers, in terms of physical locations, have access to roughly half of Saskatchewan's population. So within our first period of full operation, we certainly don't see how, as a goal, about 10% of that roughly 800 housing starts is unachievable with regards to the existing MCO infrastructure and what Joe Stores' profit centers are able to accomplish as of now.
So moving
Yeah, question. So if I'm a homeowner interested in this, I could just donate money directly to UNICEF to build
You
wells.
could.
So what would entice a homeowner to donate this way indirectly?
The big benefit of this isn't coming from somewhere that a homeowner traditionally would see a philanthropic gesture coming from. You know, homeowners, they get their Christmas telephone calls asking them to donate. They see various stands around town, but when they're looking for a home, they don't have philanthropy in mind necessarily. This is something that's coming at them from a completely different direction and something that hasn't been done before. So this is something that could sway them in the way of choosing a contractor that is supplied by MCO when they're looking for a home.
I would add to that when somebody in our generation is purchasing their first home, that is a large cost to them, and that's definitely something that they have in mind. So with this cost sort of included in the purchase of their home, it's not something where they're like, I'm buying a home and now I'd like to make a donation as well. It's sort of something that encompasses that entirely. We are a very socially minded generation, so while there is certainly monetary value in this, the social impact is what we truly want to emphasize here.
Moving back to the contractors a little bit here. This is also, as I mentioned earlier, it creates value for the contractor. They can put that seal on their homes, on their advertising, and they can say, we are supplied by MCO, by Project Equality, and that's something that people in our generation will see and they'll go, yeah, that's something that I want for myself. That's something that I would like to be a part of.
Can you help me follow the money? I'm trying to figure out where that $500 comes out of. What portion of your transaction?
So when you would send a bill to the contractor for the pieces that they ordered for the various stages, it's already included in those pieces. So when you have...
Cost of goods. So
yeah.
I had them going marking it up an extra $500 to the contractor.
Yes, there's various different ways that could be structured, and that's something that we're looking to you as well for your expertise going forward in any further meetings as where we would like to split that cost. So it is possible for that whole percent to be marked up for that full $500 to be charged to the customer. It is also possible for that to be split as well. You could do part of it's marked up for the consumer to pay for, and part of it could be put in by EMCO just to help get into that market and to help set you apart as well. And then the sales would just follow with that as people want to choose this product.
To make it clear with an example, if you have a $7,000 bill that you're invoicing to a customer, you could place that as a $7,500 bill or leave it at a $7,000 bill. That money, that $500 would either come from your strict profit, or in doing so, it does in turn create a more intangible sales lead for you. So while you're not seeing the direct profit from this immediately, we believe that this socially minded idea will inspire others to buy homes fitted with EMCO that they've supplied. So there's definitely merit in this.
I can see a very nice kind of fit within our corporate social responsibility, but can you tell me how a project like this would actually add incremental market share or find new residents that I could increase sales to rather than kind of taking away from some of my profits?
Yeah, so as we were stating a little bit earlier on, we feel that the social value and what new home buyers in general in a demographic sense value in not only looking for new homes, but in most aspects of their life, we feel that this sort of plan would line up perfectly with that. As Max also stated a little bit earlier, if people of our generation who are looking to consciously and positively make a difference in the world are able to choose homes that are equipped with project equality and EMCO fixtures that push these values forward and make themselves feel like they're making a difference in the world, we think that that's naturally going to be something that people will be fostering themselves towards.
So do you have an idea then of what the market share is, again, of these people that are going to be socially minded versus financially minded? Because again, I think a lot of people look at low cost homes rather than am I funding well somewhere. Do you know what that market share is of people that are socially minded of the new builds?
Well, we don't have a specific figure for that per se. What I could answer to that specifically is that with EMCO's existing profit structure, their existing economies of scale and their competitive advantage in bringing supplies out in that industrial context, if that's transferred to a new residential business, we feel that that social consciousness and that low cost can be balanced through the power of EMCO and their existing strengths.
As a major national retailer, we do understand that low cost is already something that you do very well because of the discount you would get from buying in quantities. And also your competitors would have that same advantage, also being large. So here, this is something that is completely different for you, something that no one else is doing, and something that once you do, you'd have the first mover advantage. Should someone else, maybe a Wolseley or someone else like that, would want to implement something like this, it's not going to have as much value for them because it's something that you've already done, and they would simply be following in your footsteps on that one. To get this more to the consumer, because that's someone that while it would be going through the contractor and then to the consumer, it is the consumer that is going to benefit ultimately from this sort of sense of social responsibility. So we would like to have pop-up booths around, or pop-up things around the contracting sites where people could go look in, they could take a look at what project equality is, and they could answer a few market questions about what kind of home they're want to look at, their whether or not they're more financially minded or more socially minded, and how much this would mean to them as a consumer. They would then be entered to win their own well as more tangible items, such as perhaps a water bottle, which would fit nicely with the theme. They could enter to win that well and have their own little card. And then when they go to purchase their home, they'll think, gee, that was a great little place I went to. I really would like to be a part of something like that and to add another well to the world and to help someone else out.
This will certainly be appealing for contractors in capturing their customers. So if it doesn't really make a difference to them where they're supplying from, if they're going somewhere with a competitive edge and social mind, it does provide that end bonus. So say you gather a development or gain a contract for a developer in a particular area. That developer could go and set up a pop-up shop saying, come in, take a look at our homes. This is something that you can learn about project equality. It's a great thing. The homeowner might not really understand the difference between a developer. But once they purchase that home from that developer, they're getting that tangible letter of congratulations in the mail with that code to see their well and really see that impact, which is something people really value, that tangible aspect of making a difference.
So there's no project without a plan, and we have a rollout plan that's based around a 24-month schedule here going forward. Now, to start off with, starting tomorrow, if you are to consider this plan, the very first thing we're going to do is start looking for a partner within the industry of well installation to line up perfectly with EMCO's values and to successfully bring this project forward on that external level. So as Andrea mentioned before, whether that's a nonprofit such as a UNICEF or an Oxfam, an NGO such as Water for the World, or some other organization that fits in line with both our values and our goals in this project, we're going to have to make sure that that all lines up with the intention of ensuring that this is able to go forward in the best possible way for all involved. Now, past 6 months, once that's lined up, we're going to get into the actual...
Is this all funded by EMCO? I'm just thinking in terms of there's some marketing that's involved here, there's some pop-up places.
Yeah. So, Matt, go back to the other slide. As we said before, with the empowerment of profit centers within EMCO, a lot of this is going to come from our own operations here in Saskatchewan. The idea is that the opportunity here for this elsewhere in EMCO from you guys as a corporate level is what's being considered. Now, with that in mind, we would hopefully be able to see about $675,000 from you guys as pilot funding. Now, we see this as an investment more so for EMCO as a corporate entity than for us, with the idea that the money being put into this pilot project successfully would see its expansion throughout the company.
Do you have a breakdown of where that's at $675,000 going?
Yeah, most of it's going to be going to administration costs, the new people locally who are going to be dealing with suppliers with the delivery of these new residential fixtures, and also towards marketing.
So in that marketing, we don't have a slide explicitly stating where that money is going to go, but as you can imagine, we'll be developing your website to allow it to be interactive with the end consumer, so they can really see their impact there. Some of that marketing as well would go to these pop-up shops, but a lot of that would fall with the developer themselves. With this project, it's a great opportunity to start the pilot in Saskatchewan. As you may know, the government is sponsoring a lot of affordable house creation, and so this is a great time to do this. If we get in line with that as is happening, then really the opportunities to expound are very boundless.
So to transition back to what we were talking about earlier from, as we were saying, timeline. Yeah. We'll just finish up a little bit of timeline identification here now. As we were talking about the pilot project and the questions you had with regards to that, that's going to take between month 6 and month 12. So that's going to take us to the end of our first year after we get that partner in line and we feel confident and ready to take this project going forward. We're going to roll out the initiation of a pilot project, as we said, at the profit centers here run by Mr. Arnold in Saskatchewan. So that's going to involve reaching out to local contractors, a bit of personal selling, direct marketing, all those sorts of things that are going to get the word out about project equality and certainly sell the values and merits of it, not only to contractors here in Saskatchewan, but also to the general public as a whole who are going to be out there looking to buy houses certified with this program. Overlapping with that from months 12 to 24, it's going to be the residential identity and legitimacy. So that's kind of an extension of what I was just talking about, making sure that the public is aware of the value of this program and that they're interested and worthy of putting their names forward to purchase these houses that are certified in this way. So again, similar to reaching out to the contractors, that's going to involve a bit of impersonal marketing, more mass marketing on the local level here in Saskatchewan, and as we said earlier, that's what some of those startup funds, if we do get them, are going to go towards. Moving past month 24, of course, that's going to just be growth. We're going to feel comfortable with this program. We're going to hopefully see it installed and considered by other profit centers across EMCO's network throughout Canada, and perhaps even global reach and expansion in the years to come. So let's think back to the story that we brought to you at the very beginning of this presentation. Whether you're in Regina, Saskatchewan, or in rural Kenya, we understand that clean water and accessible water is a value that all of humanity finds great value in. And we know that with a company like EMCO and their strength and prowess in industrial applications within Canada, we see that their worthiness and interest in bringing forward an expansion into residential fixtures within Canada is a great opportunity to not only make money, but also impact social change on a mass worldwide level. We feel that with the strong and proven track record of Mr. Arnold's profit centers for EMCO within Saskatchewan, that we can bring forward an opportunity for residential contracting and installation of project equality certified equipment into homes, and with that affect global change on a mass level. So, let's achieve excellence in water quality together, and I thank you for your time today.
Thank you.